Okay. Yeah, welcome in. Oh, no problem. We're just getting started. Yeah. Yeah, and that door is funny. It can be unlocked and act like it's not, and then act like it is at the same time. Well, thanks everyone for being here online and in person. So let's just begin. If you'd like, you can take your thumbs and tuck them into your fingers and rest your hands on your thighs. If you'd like to have your hands in a different position, that's fine also. And we can begin by bringing our awareness to the three treasures: the body, the breath, and the mind. So bringing our awareness to the body, we tune into the alignment of our body, the sensations of what's there. So feeling our seat, feeling the ground beneath us, feeling our spine rising up from the earth into the sky. Just noticing how that feels. If it feels easy, if it feels difficult, if there are areas that are comfortable or areas that are a little tight. It's just an opportunity to notice, to take stock, and tune in to things that may always be there, but we just may not always notice. So we're taking the time to notice. And also taking the time to allow ourselves to relax. And again, if there's an area that might feel a little tight or uncomfortable, just noticing that, maybe inviting that area to relax or to offer whatever information it has for you. And then as we continue to tune into our bodies, the breath may become more evident. So we can breathe into the shape of our bodies, and even if there are some places that might feel a little, again, tight, or even open and expansive, we can offer our breath to those places. And as we breathe, just allowing the breath to be slow and deep, seeing if we can fill as much of our body with our breath as possible. And again, offering our breath to our bodies. Allowing the breath to nourish us. And also offering our breath to the space around us. I heard someone say recently that it's nice to make offerings to the environment, to nature, to the world. And if we don't have anything to offer, we always can offer our breath. So offering a conscious breath to our bodies. And offering a conscious breath to the space around us. Just allowing this alignment of our body and this offering of our breath to be the focus of our minds. And then as you're ready, we can bring our hands together and gently rub our palms together, generating some warmth in our hands, maintaining an awareness of our alignment and the offering of our breath, focus of our mind. And let's take a deep breath in together and shake it out. And then rubbing the palms together again. And we can bring some awareness and intention into our faces because that's where we're going. So tuning into that area, feeling it. And then we can bring our hands onto our faces and do a nice face massage. You can massage up and out. And if another way feels better, you can do that. And you can go slow and you can go fast and you can make small circles over your eyes and you can make big circles over your whole face. You can go up and down, you can go up and out and in. And then from here, let's just bring our fingertips over our scalp. And here you can go front to back, or back and forth, or spend some time over any area that you would like to. I would invite you to explore the whole surface area of your scalp. And as you're ready, your hands can slide down the back of your neck and around the base of your neck. And let's take a nice deep breath in together. And shake it out. And rub the palms. Breathing. Tuning into your alignment. Offering your breath to your body. And then we can bring our hands over our ears and let's make forward circles over our ears. And then another deep breath in and out. Rubbing the palms together. And then today, before we move on to our self-shoulder massage, let's do a self-neck massage. And there's a couple different neck massage methods. We'll go through maybe 2 or 3 of them. So let's begin. I'm going to take my left hand and just onto the left side of my neck and just gently massage my neck. And as you're doing this, feel free to maybe look down or straight ahead or even up a little bit. Different angles will give you access to different sensations. And then after a little bit, when you're ready, you can switch to the other side. Different sides have different sensations. And again, just kind of gently moving the angle of your head, even turning side to side or up and down, that can also help you to massage the neck. It's almost like you can stabilize with your hand or your finger somewhere and move the head. And it's like that does the massaging. That does the work for you. And then another method is I'll take my left hand and I'm going to reach across to the right side of my head. I'm looking towards the right. And then I'm just going to slowly kind of drag my hand across my neck. And as I'm doing that, I'm also gently turning my head to look the other way. And then when my hand is about to slip off my neck, I can reposition and do that again. And again, this is another place where adjusting the angle of your gaze while you turn your head can do a lot of the massage work for you. So, use that movement of your head to help you really get where you need to get into. Whoa. I say this every time I think I do this neck massage, but usually whenever I do it, one of the first thoughts I have is like, this feels good. And then the second thought is, why have I waited so long to do this since the last time I've done it? Oh, that's nice. And then whenever you're ready, you can change to the other side. So my right hand is over to the left side of my neck. I'm looking towards the left and then just gently dragging my hand across the back of my neck as I'm turning my head, and then reposition. Oh. Yeah, I feel like we should start a movement where rather than having coffee breaks or cigarette breaks, we have self-neck massage breaks. I think that would make the world a better place. And if you're enjoying this, if this is feeling good and like feeling helpful, just remember that you can do this as often as you'd like to, as often as you're able. And when that feels complete, a third method, so we can just take our hands, almost like, blades, onto the sides of our neck, coming into the sides, and with my left hand, I can push in and tilt my head to the left, and then push in and tilt my head to the right, just kind of work my way up the neck. And this is, it's a nice little massage technique. It's also a nice little self-assessment, like, how do things feel? Ooh, nice little adjustment. You're just working your way up to the base of the skull, and if If you'd like, you can kind of work your way back down. And then what I like to do is take both hands and just drag them around the base of my neck. It's almost like, we've worked on one side and the other, so now we're just balancing out both sides, smoothing things out. And let's take a deep breath in. And shake it out. Rubbing our palms together, breathing deeply. And now we'll move on to our self-shoulder massage. So beginning with the left arm up to the right shoulder, and alternating side to side. And bring some intention into your hand as it swings up. Just think about it. Just feel your hand as it swings up, moving through space and landing on your shoulder, and see what that does. Like I notice when I tune more into my hand, the sound that it makes when it lands on my shoulder changes, which I think is really cool. One more on each side. And a deep breath in. And out. Rubbing the palms together. Breathing deeply. Offering our breath to our body. And now opening our chests, so right fingertips under the collarbone, sliding out into the hollow space. Left fingertips to the base of the right rib cage and just trace it down until you fall into a little notch. We can tap both of these places, making small circles. Noticing what you feel. Maybe finding a spot in one or both of these places that kind of stands out. So tuning into that spot and breathing. Breathing into the spots you're tapping. Breathing in between these two spots. Breathing all the way through to the back side of the rib cage. And then massaging both of these spots. And then changing sides. Left fingertips under the right collarbone, sliding out into the hollow space. Right fingertips tracing the base of the left rib cage down into a little notch. And gently tapping. Breathing. Noticing what you feel. Maybe physical sensations, maybe emotional sensations. Breathing into the space in between these 2 points, using your breath to bridge the gap. Using your breath to facilitate movement through the chest, through the ribs, through the lungs and the heart. allow what's there to move. And then massage. And then a deep breath in and out. Rubbing the palms together and breathing. Bringing our hands over our lower ribs and massaging the lower ribs, the spleen and stomach and pancreas and liver and gallbladder organs. And then the hands can begin to move onto the abdomen. One hand can come over the chest while the other hand is over the abdomen. And your hands, whichever hand is on top, can switch places with the lower hand if you'd like. And so we're massaging our trunks, our chests, our bellies, and we're acknowledging the organs inside of our bodies. Just giving them some acknowledgement, some gratitude. Offering our breath to our internal organs. Allowing them to be nourished by qi and blood and lymph. Supporting their function. And as you're ready, your hands can come around your waist to your lower back. The areas of your kidneys and your lower ribs, the backside of your diaphragm, your sacroiliac joints, your lumbar spine. And when you're ready, we can draw the hands out, shake them out. Rubbing the palms together, breathing deeply into the body. And let's massage our arms, beginning with the left arm, a little tap to the fingertips, up the outside and down the inside. Going with the flow. Offering this touch to your hand, nourishing your body with your body, giving life to life. And let's come up one more time and then down, changing sides. Up the outside and down the inside. And different sides may have different sensations. So just taking the time to notice, to feel what's needed, what's being asked for. What can we offer? And up one more time and down. Deep breath in. Shake it out. rubbing the palms together. We can bring our feet out in front of us. And if your feet aren't available to you, you're more than welcome to massage your knees or your thighs or wherever you can get to on your legs. And if you're massaging your feet, you can massage the bottoms of your feet, you can massage the tops of your feet, you can massage the edge of your foot that's facing up towards you. And then we can follow the funnel down on the bottom of the foot, or you can also find a spot on the backside of your knee joint if you're massaging your knees. Or you can even just rest your hands on your thighs, and if your feet are on the ground, just tune in to this point on the bottom of the foot, the bubbling spring. And then from here, we'll draw the hands up the inside of the legs and the thighs and around the hips and down the outside. Remembering to breathe, remembering to feel what this feels like. Find a way of doing it that feels good. And one more time, up and around and down and out. Deep breath in. Shake it out. Rubbing the palms together. One last time for now. And then we can tuck our thumbs back into our fingers or find any other hand position that feels good or appropriate. And return your awareness to your body and the alignment of your body. Feel the ground beneath you and allow that ground to support you in rising up, lifting up into the sky. And with that lifting and that extension, fill the space between heaven and earth with your breath. Offer your breath to your whole body. And offer your breath to the whole universe. Feel that exchange of energy coming in and moving out. So can we breathe in a breath that is calm, nourishing and peaceful, offering our bodies calm and nourishment and peace. And as we breathe out, can we offer that calm and nourishment and peace to the universe around us? And then whenever you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. All right. So today is the 6th of June, and starting this weekend will be the 3rd phase of summer. So it's funny, I was hearing some people talk about, I think this was just a day or two ago, someone was saying like, wow, it's so hot and summer hasn't even started yet. And I was thinking, yeah, we're in summer. So this phase of summer, this is the 3rd phase, and as we know, the 4th phase of any season is always either the equinox or the solstice. That's the peak of the season. So this phase is the phase before the summer solstice, which is the most yang point of the year. But it's interesting because as soon as we hit the summer solstice, then things start declining, like right after the summer solstice. The days are still much longer than the nights, but they start getting a little bit shorter. And so this is actually like the big crescendo, this 3rd phase. It's like all of the yang is pushing up towards the top. So that's kind of the energy of this year, and when we think about summertime and we think about the fire element, we think about the heart organ, we think about joy, we think about love, we think about things like this. And so, the other side of that coin is that sometimes that fiery yang type of energy can also become a little destabilizing. And so that can lead to a kind of, maybe excitement to the point of overexcitement or anxiety, or even a kind of, manic kind of like wanting to do so much in so many different ways. And so, so just being aware of those tendencies and, and again, really trying to channel that energy into a kind of joy and in Chinese language, there's 2 words for joy. There's shi and le. And so they're both actually, the characters for these, they both depict a kind of drumming. And so one is the kind of drumming that is kind of celebratory, like woo! That's that kind of joy, and that's kind of like a periodic kind of joy, like a time-bound joy. It's kind of here's this excitement, here's this party, let's go crazy and celebrate. And then the other kind of joy is the drumming is more of like the heartbeat of the world, just that kind of steady, it's always happening. And so that's the type of joy that we want to be more attuned to, even when we're having the big celebrations, So it is a more grounding and a stabilizing kind of force. It's not dependent upon any kind of situation, whereas the other kind of joy, that's the situation. We're celebrating. Whereas this other kind of joy exists even in the midst of grief, or fear or uncertainty. It's kind of just the joy that we are alive and we exist between heaven and earth, and we have this breath that we can offer ourselves and offer the world regardless of what's going on. And so really tuning into that energy, especially in the year of the fire horse, which is, the horse is the heart animal, and so it's like the theme, the fire horse year, it's like the whole year is the summer solstice. And so we're in the period right before the summer solstice in the year of the summer solstice. So again, I think it's very important to be conscious of that and to consciously channel our energy in a certain kind of way. We've talked about horses and fire and transformation, and you can get really far, really fast. Where do you want to go? And so the offering around the fire element is to a place of a kind of stable, grounded, ever-present joy that isn't the excitement kind of joy, but is just that joy of being. So again, bringing that into our awareness, especially over these next 2 weeks, and with everything that we're doing, allowing everything that we're doing to be an offering in service of that. How can we create a rhythmic drum beat that can help everything to then orient? There's This past weekend, I was spending a lot of time at a workshop where there was a lot of ritual that was going on and based on indigenous cultures. And there was talk about how ritual has really fallen out of practice in modern times. And ritual helps us to give a sense of place, and how a lot of us are kind of placeless nowadays, and how, this person was making the point that it's like you can go to a Walmart anywhere in this country and they're all kind of the same, so it's kind of a placelessness. And nowadays, you don't even have to go to Walmart anymore. They will come to you. So you never even have to go outside to see the place that you have to get through to get to the placeless place. You can just be placeless always. And so, this idea of bringing a sense of place back into our experience, and the place doesn't have to be specific to a region. The place can be the whole world. The place can be the whole universe. But are we even just acknowledging that we have a place and that we have a relationship to place, and the place has a relationship to us, and they kind of feed into each other? And so to what extent are we taking responsibility for the role that we play in creating the situation that we all exist within? And so again, fire is always associated with ritual and ceremony. We're lighting candles, we're burning incense, we have bonfires, we gather around the light. And so we're in the summer solstice, in the year of the fire horse. It's like, what are we doing to create this shared experience? What are we offering to it? How is our expression of gratitude coming through for the fact that we have this gift of breath and body and mind and all of that? So this is a big time of year, a special time of year. And these practices that we do can be done in that spirit. So just to offer that for our practice today. And so what I'd like to do, because we've been doing Ma Huang Dui for several weeks, and so that's a longer, more complicated form, and we finished that off the last class that we had. And so today I wanted to focus more on just the simple forms that we can just do, not have to think too much about, so that we can really just drop in and allow the movement and the breath to be harmonized with each other, and allow that to be our offering as a way of creating a kind of rhythm and stability that can then permeate out into the world. Okay? So let's do that. And thank you all for listening to me talk so much. All right. Okay. Yeah, so the form we have been doing as kind of a warm-up for the past couple of weeks has been the 10 mindful movements of Thich Nhat Hanh. So I would like to do those again, and then we'll move on from there. And so, again, this form is very much about harmonizing the breath and the movement, like going slow enough so that we can really do that. And, there's a couple movements where we're kind of moving our legs, we're standing on one foot, and that can be a little tricky. And so it's okay to make very small movements. Even if you're sitting in a chair, you can kind of do the movement just sitting in the chair. That is fine. And what I've noticed when I practice this form myself is if my mind is somewhere else, like I totally lose my balance. But if my mind is focusing on harmonizing the movement and the breath, and the way it goes is that, with this movement, say on our leg, we inhale halfway through the movement, and then we exhale. And then we inhale, and then exhale. And so if I'm moving slow enough to be able to really link the breath with the movement, I find my balance kind of figures itself out. So just something to really work with as we work with this form. It's a very simple form, but really harmonize the breath and the movement. When you catch your mind somewhere else or moving and it's not with the breath, come back. Okay, so if you you'd like to stand, you're welcome to stand, and we can just take a few moments to tune in to our alignment and our posture in this new shape. And if you're sitting in a chair, you can also just tune in. Feel your sits bones on your seat and lifting through the base of the skull. So lifting the base of the skull up and away from the neck so the chin slightly tucks. And the back of the head is lifting up and away, lengthening from the neck, which can allow the shoulders to spread and to drop. Soften your knees, maybe even bend a little deeper than you think you need to so that you can come back out of the deeper bend, but just finding an unlocked way for your knees to be. And take a moment to tune into the bottom of your feet and notice where the weight is in your feet. And if it's more in the balls of your feet, the invitation is to see if you can settle more into your heel bones. Really feel your weight dropping through your heels down into the earth. Like feel that solid connection. And if it feels a little unstable, you can always think about as if you were spreading the floor apart in between your feet. So you come more into the outer edges, and that helps you to feel stable in your heel bones with soft knees and the base of the skull reaching up and away from the neck and the shoulders, and breathe into the back side of the rib cage. Really spread your ribs wide and open the back, almost like as if you had a turtle shell. You're filling that turtle shell on your back with your breath. And lifting the base of the skull up and away can help you find more space to breathe into on the back side of your body, which may help to bring more awareness into your heels and the outer edge of your feet. And just feel that connection with the earth, with the sky, with your breath. And then let's move with our breath. So nice and easy. On the inhale, the hands float out in front, palms are down, fingertips reaching forward. Inhale, and then exhale, and the hands just float back down. So very simple. Inhaling, the fingertips reaching away from the backside of the rib cage, and then exhale. We want to breathe all the way out before we breathe in again. So inhale, and stretch your breath. Allow your breath to stretch your body. And out. Again, in. Stretching of the body allows more space for the breath to fill. And then out. Taking a moment to pause at the bottom of the exhale. And then inhale. And as we stretch and fill our bodies with breath, pausing at the top of the inhalation, and then out. Just a couple more like this. Stretch, reaching the fingertips in the back of the rib cage away from each other, and out. Two more. In. And out. In. And out. Moving right into the next movement, this time leading with the thumb and index fingers, the edge of the hands, inhaling up, reaching up overhead, stretching through the fingertips. If you want to look up, you can, or you can look straight ahead, and then exhale the hands back down to the sides of the body, soft knees, feeling the feet on the ground, in, harmonizing the breath and the movement. Stretch the breath with the body, and out. Take your time. Move slow. Inhaling. And exhaling. Feel like moving slow, deliberate, calmly. It's an act of rebellion nowadays. So let's be rebels. Inhaling, stretching, and out. Inhale. Soft knees rooting through your feet, rooting down so that you can reach up into the sky. Feel the stretch and relax. Let's do 2 more. Lengthen your body. Stretch your body with your breath. Offer a counterbalance to this fast, chaotic energy that's out in the world. As we inhale slowly, calmly, with intention, and out. Let's take a breath here, just pause. We can bring our hands onto our shoulders, so the fingertips just resting on the shoulders, hands on the sides, blooming like a flower. So let's inhale, stretch, open, and then exhale. In. Your fingertips can reach away, they can reach down towards the ground, whatever works for you. Out. In. And out. Opening your heart like a flower. Inhaling, stretching, holding, and exhaling. Allowing this movement to happen with your whole body. In, stretch, and out. 1 more time. In, and out. Relax the hands down. Maybe take a breath. Bring your palms together out in front. And then we're going to inhale the hands up, open, and then exhale the hands down, palms together. Now we'll go the other way. So we inhale back and up, and then exhale, the hands come together and down. Now up, in, harmonize your breath and the movement, out. It's better to adjust the movement to the breath than the breath to the movement. In, and out. In, stretch with the whole body, out. Again, backing up, in, and out. 1 more time, in, and out. Backing up, in, and out. Let's relax. We can take a wider stance, bring our hips onto our hands, and we're going to bend forward and rotate, and again, working with the breath. So the inhale is the first half of the movement, and the exhale is the second half of the movement. I have a tricky low back, and I find if I'm really focusing on my breath, my low back is totally fine. And if I've lost track with harmonizing the breath and the movement, my back is kind of, saying, are you being careful? So let's hinge our hips back. So the weight is in the heels, and just come forward just as much as is comfortable. We'll go towards the mirrors first. So we're going to inhale, leading with the head, rotating up and back, and then exhale to the other side, around and down. Now towards the windows. In, rotating, and out. Take your time. Lead with your head towards the mirrors. In, and out. Back the other way. In, and out. Back the other way. In, and out. One more time towards the windows. In, and out. Come to stand. Bring the feet a little closer together. So your heels will be close together, not necessarily touching, but pretty close. And your feet are in a V. Hands can come on the hips. We're going to inhale off the heels. And then exhale, just bending down, keeping the heels up. Exhaling. And then inhale up. Heels stay up. Exhale. Like a frog. In. And out. In. And out. One more full round. In. And out. Inhaling up. And relax. Hands can come down. Shake it out a little bit if you'd like to. Next movement. This one is like a forward fold. So let's inhale the arms up overhead, stretch. And as you exhale, hinge your hips back, weight in the heels as the hands come down, just as low as is comfortable. And then inhale up. Stretch. Exhale. My knees bend quite a bit when I come forward, and that's fine. Inhale. Stretch. Exhale. In. And out. One more full round. In. And out. Inhale up. And relax. Take a breath. Now, we can bring our feet a little closer together. Hands on the hips. So this is, now we move into some of the balance work. We'll start with the mirror foot. So we'll inhale the knee up, toes pointed down. Exhale out. In. Out. Shift your weight. Inhale. Exhale. It's fine to lose your balance. In and out. Take your time. Focus on your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in, out, in, out. One more. We can shake that out. Offering a breath to calm our bodies. Now we'll make the circles. And again, the circle can be very small. And again, really focus on the breath. So I'm going to shift my weight into the window leg, and then inhale a circle out. Exhale around and back, and you can rest your foot on the ground, and then in, out. Make small circles. Let's start with a small circle. In, go slow, and out. In, and out. Take your time. Breathing is, we're breathing slowly. In, and out. In, out. In, and out. One more each side, however big you want to make your circle. Harmonize the breath with the movement. In, out, in, and out. Good. We can shake that out. Taking a slightly wider stance, let's take our mirror foot and turn it out towards the mirror. So we have a 90-degree angle with our feet. We'll have our window hand on our window hip. Mirror hand is going to come back. And we'll inhale, shift our weight into our front leg, and this front hand comes up. Palm facing forward. We can look up at the hand. And then exhale. Straightening that front leg, and then in. Stretch, breathe, out. In. Stretch, out. Harmonize the breath with the movement. In. And out. Two more. Then you can turn the mirror foot in, turn the window foot out, mirror hand on the mirror hip, window hand comes back, and let's inhale. Shift the weight into the front leg, front arm reaches up, palm forward, looking up, and out. And again, harmonize the breath with the movement, so maybe slow the movement down, so that when you get to the top, that's when you finish your inhale, and then out. And this is when you finish your exhale. In, creating a breath wave and a movement wave, and out. But let the mind ride the wave. Stretch. Exhale. Two more. In. Last one, in and out. Feet turned forward. We can bring our legs a little closer together. Take a nice breath. Relax. And again, soften your knees. Maybe lift your toes so that you can find your big toe mound, find the outer edge of your foot. Allow your weight to sink down through your heels. Lift through the base of your skull, away from your neck and shoulders. Offer your breath into the backside of your rib cage. See if you can breathe through your whole body. Offer your breath to every cell in your body. Nourish every cell in your body with your breath. With each offering of breath, inviting calm and peace, stability. Allowing that to infuse your body, and then you can give that back to the universe. And again, being calm, stable, moving a little more slowly or deliberately. This is an act of rebellion nowadays. We are rebelling against the forces that are telling us to go fast, do a bunch of stuff, freak out, be angry. That's not what we're doing here. We are moving against that grain. Offering calm and peace to ourselves and to the universe. Let's take an inhale together. And as you exhale, just sink, bending the knees. On your next inhale, step out towards the windows, opening. And then exhale, discover chi in between the hands. As you inhale, lift through your elbows, lift through the base of your skull, find expansion. And then exhale. Just creating this gentle undulation through the whole body with your breath. Inhaling. And exhaling. As you sink, the knees move away from each other, weight in the outer edge of the foot. In. And out. In. Out. A couple more like this. Just discover the breath in the body. Discover the space around your body. Inhaling. And exhaling. On this next inhale, we'll open our arms out wide. Stretch. On the exhale, send the hips back, bending the knees slightly, just coming down as far as is comfortable, like you're going to pick something up from the ground, and then inhale, press through your heels, come up. Hands to the heart. Exhale, open. Inhale, reaching up into the sky, gather. And exhale, through the body. Inhale, open. Exhale, hips back. Knees bend, the spine is nice and tall, just down as low as is comfortable, knees moving away from each other, press through your heels, inhale up. Exhale, relax. Inhale up into the sky, reach, stretch, and then exhale, down through the body, in, and out. Strong legs. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, gathering the sky. Exhale, offering the sky down to the earth. In and out. Gathering the earth and exhaling, offering the earth to the sky, in and out, in and out, in and out. And out. Just moving like this for a little while longer at your own pace, in your own way. What would you like to gather? What would you like to offer? Let's do one more full cycle. Inhaling and going down just as deep as feels appropriate. In and out. Let the hands float down the front of the body, down to the level of the lower dantian. Now we'll shift our weight towards the windows, pivot our foot towards the mirrors, inhale your hands up to your chest, and then exhale, shift into that front foot, which allows the back foot to adjust a little bit. And then inhale in, front toes come up, exhale, sink into that back leg, down the front. Inhale up. And out. In, and this time we go down towards the front foot. In, and out. A nice rhythmic wave motion coming in, and then flowing out towards the earth. In, and out. Inner rivers flowing. In and out. One more time. In and down. Inhale. Turn to face forward. Exhale. Take a breath, relax. Shift your weight towards the mirrors. We'll pivot the window foot out. Inhale the hands up to the chest. And then exhale, shift forward. This can allow you to adjust your back foot as needed. so that you can inhale in and then exhale down. In and out. Rocking into that front leg and then inhaling, pressing back. Exhaling, sinking down, flowing down. In and out. In, out, in. One more full cycle. Out in front. Inhale. And down. Inhale. Turn to face forward. Exhale. Let your palms come back to back and then inhale. Hands up to the heart. Roll the palms together. Rest here for a few moments. Breathing. Feel the pumping of your heart. The movement of your blood and chi through your body. Offer your breath to your body. Offer this blood and chi to every cell in your body. Let's open our heart in 4 directions. So we'll take an inhale. Exhale, send your hands forward. Inhale. Exhale wide. Inhale. Up overhead. Exhaling. In. Exhale down. And again, in. Open your heart as far as it will go. In. Open your heart as wide as it will go. In. Open your heart as high as it will go. In. Open your heart as deep as it will go. Again. Exhale as you press forward, you're sinking back slightly. Inhale. As you reach towards the windows, you also reach towards the mirrors. In. As you press up, also sink down. In. As you press down through the hands, reach up through the base of the skull. Inhale, one more time. In. Exhale with force. In. With force. In. With force. Palms back to back. And then palms together. Again, checking back in, dropping back in to your body. Offer your breath to your whole body. Offer your breath to the whole universe. Now let's trace the channels. So the hands come over the face and the head, down the back of the neck, and around the base of the neck, under the collarbones, and the arms down the back side of the legs, up the front of the legs, over the belly. Let's Let's go out the mirror arm, and then up, onto the face, and then out the other side. Down the inside of the arm, up the outside. Bring one arm in, and then the other. And let's bring our hands over our heads, around the neck, under the collarbones, and down. Up the front. Inhale, and then exhale out the arm. Inhale. Exhale. In. And then out. In. And out. In. And out. In. And out. In. And out. One more time. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. And out. Lift through your elbows. Inhale, like you're parting clouds. Exhaling, let the window hand float down. We can just breathe natural now. The window hand comes across. As it comes up, the mirror hand comes down. And then bring both hands across the front of the body. And then switch. Inhale. Exhale. In. And out. So like we're drawing a square. One side of the square. Inhale. The top and bottom of the square as we exhale. In. And out. And the square can start to get a little rounder as we relax into the movement. In and out. In and out. In and out. Inhale. This time, exhaling when the hands come in front of the face, pause. Bring the lower hand up to cross. And then bring both hands down on either side of your hips. Take a breath in. As you exhale, hips move back, knees bend slightly like we dig in. And then inhale, gather up. Exhale. In. Exhale, dig in. In. Exhale. Staying nice and tall. In. Hips back, exhale, knees move away from each other, and then inhale, reaching out and up. Exhale. Moving with the breath. In, out, in, and out. In, digging in. What would you like to gather? What would you like to receive? In and out. Gathering one more time. Exhale. down to the lower dantian. Your hands can fold over the lower dantian. Take a breath or two. You can relax your hands and then palms back to back. We'll inhale up and exhale. Hands come around towards each other. Let's inhale wide and then exhale. One hand on top, one hand underneath. Inhale, stretch. Exhale. Flip the hands. Other way. In and out. This time diagonally, so window arm reaches up and over the shoulder. Keep a connection with that front hand. Exhale. Other side. Inhale, stretch, and out. Again, wide, horizontal. Vertical. Other side. And then diagonal. Other side. And out. One more time through. So inhale and exhale. Take your time. In and out. Feel the connection between your hands. In and out. The whole body moves and breathes. In and out. Other side. In and out. Hands facing each other. Now we inhale. Slowly draw the hands up the front of the body, close to the body. And then exhale, send your arms out. Let your weight sink into your heels. So I'll briefly demonstrate what we're not doing. So we inhale. What we're not doing is exhaling forward with our hands. What we are doing is inhaling, and the hands and the body counterbalance. The hands move forward, the weight subtly sinks back into the heels, spine nice and tall. In, draw the energy up your spine, through your neck, over the top of the head, and then exhale, the energy can run down the front of the body, like we're turning a water wheel. In, out, slowing down, in, and out, in, and out. Let's do 2 more full cycles. At your own pace, moving at the pace of your breath. Establishing a slow and steady rhythm for the world. In and out. And this next time, we're going to inhale up. And as we exhale, just let the hands float out in front and let them hang about maybe shoulder level or heart level. And let your hands move closer towards your body. So too close and your shoulder blades start to retract. Too far and your shoulders are rounding forward. So see if you can find that kind of nice in-between place where the shoulders are just kind of hanging. Easy. Soften your knees just a little bit. Maybe lift your toes. Maybe move your knees away from each other. Find the outer edges of your feet. Lift through the base of your skull, up and away from your neck so your chin slightly tucks. You might become more aware of the space in between your shoulder blades. Breathe into that space. Nice and big and wide. Allow the breath to help you lift. See if you can maintain some of that as you exhale. Again, just a couple offerings of breath to our bodies. Breathe with the whole body. We won't be here forever. Think about gently holding elevator doors apart with your elbows. Lifting up through the base of the skull into the sky. Dropping down through the heels and the outer edge of your feet into the earth. With your breath, expanding 360 degrees around your rib cage and your arms out into the world. Cultivating stability, calmness, slow, easy rhythm to counterbalance all going on in the world that is not that is unstable, uncalm. We're cultivating stability and calmness, steadiness, emptiness, a joyful presence that is peaceful and at ease, even amid complexity. Let's take a deep breath in together. As you exhale, let your hands relax down. You can sink slightly. Shift your weight towards the windows and then gather everything up on the inhale. Exhale, down through the body. Allow your hands to fold over the lower dantian. Allow the breath to move deep into your body underneath your hands. And offer your breath to your body. Offer nourishment. Offer peace, calm. Offering it to ourselves, to each other, to the whole universe. Let's bring our hands around our waists and then down. Then we can step out and just shake it out a little bit. And now let's close. So we can rub our palms together. Let's massage our faces up and down. Back and forth over the top of the head, down the back of the neck and around. Palms together, thumbs against the chest as we drag down over the chest, and then the lower ribs and the belly, and around the waist. Draw the hands out, shake them out. Let's pat up one arm, and down. Up the other arm, and down, and then around and down, up the front, one more time, around and down, and up. And then let's do 3 content contented sighs of relief. So breathing in. Again. One more. Thank you so much for your practice. Thank you for offering your breath to yourself and to each other and to the universe. And I hope that we all take the opportunity to continue to offer our breath in this way frequently to help create the world that we want to live in, that we can live in, that's already here if we just call it forth within ourselves. So, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time. All right. Thank you for your practice online, Zoomers. And yes, let me know if you'd like a recording of the video. Bye.